Jennifer Llewellyn with the Oakland County Workforce Development joins us on the MegaCast this morning. It's good to have you with us again. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be back.
Companies are hiring. If I'm looking for a job, what skills do I need right now?
Well, that's the untold story of the economic side of the pandemic is that companies are still hiring. We are actually hosting a virtual job fair on September 23rd, and we have over 50 companies with hundreds of job postings from around Oakland County available. So, skills you have to have, obviously, the critical skills like an important work ethic, being able to show up on time, being committed to work. Those are the basic things that people need, but there's a lot of technical skills that are also in high demand, technology skills, and being able to perform the essential functions of your job. So lots of great job opportunities available across Oakland County right now.
I think so many people that lost their job may feel like they have to stay in the same arena that they were working in when they lost their job. Is this a good time to make a career switch?
Yeah, it's a great time, and that's a very normal feeling. Obviously, when you're comfortable in the career that you've been successful in previously, it's easy to stay there, right? And obviously, everyone hopes that they can return to the job that they have before, but sadly, sometimes that's just not possible. For individuals. So this is a great opportunity for individuals to take a step back and say, what is something else that I can use my skills to perform? Are there transferable skills that I have? If I was in maybe the hospitality industry as a waitress or a bartender, well, I have great customer service skills. Can I do something in real estate or in retail or, working for a technology company in customer service? So this is it's hard to think about sometimes in the middle of a pandemic, but this is actually a great time to take a step back and reassess what your career options are. Through Oakland County Michigan Works and through Michigan Works actually statewide, we have funding available, retraining opportunities and dollars available to help unemployed workers get back to school. We can help them look at their skill sets, look at what they want to do, and be trained in a new career or a new occupation and help them make that transition and earn a credential towards a new career.
Jennifer Llewellyn with us. She's the manager of Oakland County Workforce Development at Oakland County Michigan Works, joining us today on the MegaCast. Jennifer, we've spoken recently with business owners in a variety of economic sectors, with local chambers of commerce as well, who have said that a lot of employers are looking for any potential talent that they can bring in, regardless of their previous skill sets in that general area of business. Are companies more willing than ever to bring in people that maybe don't have the exact credentials that they're looking for, but are willing more than ever now to train them to have those abilities and those skills on the job?
Yes, the companies that are really progressive and really innovative are doing a great job of building internal training programs. They see potential in individuals that say, I believe in this person. I believe they have a good work ethic. I believe they're going to show up every day. I believe they're trainable. And so they will invest, in on-the-job training for that person. So, again, it's a bit of an untold story. And sometimes people will look at a job post and say, well, I've never done that before. I don't have the 2 years of experience, or I don't have the 3 years of experience. There may be things that you don't see in yourself that an employer may see in you. And so I encourage, apply for that job, look at the skills that you have. And, I commend the companies that are out there saying, I see potential in this person and I'm going to invest in training. For the businesses that are saying, well, I need a purple squirrel that wears a dress on Wednesdays to fill this job, they're going to have a more difficult time filling those spots.
So when they do fill those spots, are they paying more or offering a larger variety of benefits to try to get new employees in and retain them?
Yeah, I think, you're starting to see the wages creep up a little bit. And quite candidly, that has been a struggle over the last few years. I know I was driving just over the weekend and saw a sign on an Arby's that said, hiring up to $12 an hour. So there's that competitive wage market now. It's a lot about supply and demand. We are seeing the wages increase, and companies are also being increasingly innovative with flexible hours. I was going to say remote work, but that's very real right now. But prior to the pandemic, offering career flexibility, remote work. We're seeing different leave time, paternity leave time, working conditions, just cool places to work. Companies that are maybe more traditional in the past have been just looking at new ways to better meet their employees where they're at and offer that work-life balance.
So Jennifer, what are employees primarily looking for beyond just the potential in the employees in terms of sectors of our economy? Where are the jobs right now? Is it across the board, or are there certain sectors that are more eager to bring people back than others?
Yeah, we're seeing really high demand in some of the retail space. So, for example, our friends at Gardner White have many jobs available across Southeast Michigan right now. People are home, and what else do we have to do? We've got to buy some furniture and remodel. So, high demand in that home retail space. So, significant number of jobs there. Our advanced manufacturing partners at our job fair on the 23rd, we've got LG and Atlas Copco, Magna, Jabil, and Auburn Hills. They're all hiring for advanced manufacturing. Oakland County is hiring. That's who I work for. We have several jobs that are available, varying positions. So, we're seeing a lot in advanced manufacturing. We're seeing a lot, again, in some of the retail spaces, some of the, home improvement retailers, more in technology. Those numbers are starting to creep up again as more of us use technology. There's been a high demand in, warehousing and transportation. So Amazon, the new Amazon facility in Pontiac, is joining us for the job fair on the 23rd. And, they have hundreds and hundreds of jobs that are going to be available as well. So, that seems to be where we're seeing the most demand. There's other niche jobs where we're also seeing increase. So sign language interpreters, truck drivers, delivery drivers. So there's some other, really specific positions that, as a part of the pandemic have increased as well.
How can an individual make themselves shine at a virtual career fair?
Oh, that's a good question. It's really important to do the preparation work. So, on our Oakland County Michigan Works website, oaklandcountymiworks.com, we've got a page on the virtual job fair that we're hosting. A list of all the companies that are participating is on there, along with links to each one of those companies. And there's a video on how to prepare yourself for a virtual job fair. So it's important to do your research before you participate. So find out what companies are going to be in attendance, do your research on them, be very intentional about which booths you visit. And make sure your technology works ahead of time. So, those are some really basic features. But like any job fair or any interview, you also have to make sure that you are prepared. So, have your 30-second elevator speech. You might be in a virtual line with 150 people. So you might only have 30 seconds to tell them who you are, what your skill set is, and how you can help their company out. So it's really, sometimes I think in the virtual space, sometimes we think, oh, it's the internet and it's going to be okay. But people have to prepare for a virtual job fair the same way that they would prepare for an in-person job fair or an in-person interview, possibly even more, because you've got the technology piece in there as well.
So how will that look? Is it going to be like a Zoom room with 150 people and then you get called on to be able to give your 30-second speech, and then will all the other candidates be listening in as well?
No, so there's booths. So each employer has their own booth, and you can almost like wait in line within your booth and then connect with that employer one-on-one. So other individuals can't hear what you're saying. So there's obviously that element of confidentiality there, but it's a really neat concept. A lot of our Michigan Works colleagues in other parts of the state piloted this and went first and had tremendous success. And so we decided let's give it a shot in Oakland County, and sold out those employer booths, just within maybe 2 weeks. So we don't have any more spaces for employers to participate. We filled every single booth, and we're still getting calls from companies saying, can I participate? So, based on the success of this, if we get some good numbers and people that participate on the 23rd and great feedback from our employers, this might just be the first of many.
There's so much, Jennifer Llewellyn, manager of Oakland County Workforce Development at Oakland County Michigan Works, for people to prepare for as they're going into the job market right now, because there's a lot of opportunity, but there's also a lot more competition than before, a lot more talented competition than we've seen before. What are some resources that you suggest and your organization suggests that people take in as they're preparing to go through this process, or as they continue to go through this process, so they can put their best foot forward?
Absolutely. That's a really great question. Well, obviously, I'm going to promote the value of the Michigan Work system. So we have a team of trained career advisors. They're all certified as career development facilitators and have a lot of experience in this space. So, reach out to our team, the Michigan Works team across the state, to see if you can, work with a career advisor to guide you through your search. It's really important to have that person to be accountable to, someone that can be your champion, someone that can, guide you through the process, that is an expert. If Michigan Works isn't an option for you, if you'd prefer, to work with someone, find a family friend, find a mentor, find someone through your religious congregation, or someone that can help you through that accountability. We're all guilty of procrastinating, and we often see it in a job search where we're like, well, I have 15 more weeks of unemployment benefits, or I'll get to it after the kids go back to school, or I'll get to it after the holidays. But during a job search, it's really important to make sure that you've got a plan in place, that you've got someone to run things by, and that accountability, making sure you're setting aside time each day to work on your job search. And probably the hardest part is the networking. So it's statistically the most successful way that people find work. So I always ask people, think about all your jobs that you've had over the course of your career, and think about how did you get that job? How did you find that job? And for most people, 80% of the time it's, someone they knew. And so it can be a difficult and sometimes humiliating or embarrassing process for folks to reach out to friends and family and former coworkers and say, hey, I'm looking for work. This is the type of job I'm looking for. Are there connections that you can help me make, or set up informational interviews? So, putting yourself out there, it's easy sometimes to get behind a computer. Well, I applied for 10 jobs online and I didn't hear anything. Statistically, applying for jobs online isn't the most successful. It's that personal networking and personal connection and personal engagement.
So if I'm someone that is trying to break into a new industry maybe, and I don't have as many connections in that arena, how would you suggest someone trying to break in? Should they try to cold call or go on to LinkedIn and look for profiles of people that maybe work for that company?
Yeah, LinkedIn is a great option. Professional organizations. So, if you're new to, let's say, the healthcare industry, are there organizations related to your industry or occupation that you can join? Is there someone that who knows someone? So, I'll tell a personal example. A dear friend of mine recently completed her master's degree, and her focus is on refugee education. And she, didn't really have any contacts in the area. And so I helped her. She reached out to me and said, what, I really, I don't know anyone. I'm looking for my first job. I've applied for all these jobs all over the country. I haven't found anything. And so I introduced her to some folks that I knew that were experts in that area. They were so gracious with their time. People love to talk. They love to share information about what they do. So, even though she didn't have any contacts, I was able to get her connected to people that I knew, and she landed a job through that networking. So, the networking, the professional organizations, talking to people and asking them who they know. So who can you connect me to? And with each person you meet, ask for that next connection. Don't leave that meeting or that appointment or that Zoom call without asking, is there anyone else that you can suggest that I meet with?
Jennifer, I would think that you would be a great contact in any regard, in any arena. Are you finding employees on the other end are able and more willing to speak with potential candidates more so now because of the crisis than prior?
I think it comes down to, your personal willingness to do that, and your employer's, willingness to allow you to do that. So that's why those personal connections are really helpful. I do think, it's been fascinating with the pandemic that it's almost made it easier in some ways to reconnect with people by phone or by video. I think in many ways it was always, I don't have time for that person or meet them for coffee, but we're finding new and innovative ways. And I think that there is a willingness, we saw it during the recession of 2008 through 2010, that I believe that these hard times, do help us find the best in people. And I'm finding a willingness of this person's on hard times, they're out of work. Is there something that you can do to help them? And at the end of the day, most people are good people and willing to do that. So yeah, we do see that a bit more. People are more generous with their time, better use of our time with technology, and just more willing to help out a neighbor and a friend.
Jennifer Llewellyn with us. She is the manager of Oakland County Workforce Development at Oakland County Michigan Works. So we've talked a lot about the resources for job hunting and for businesses that are looking to bring on some more employees. You also have a financial coaching program. Can you explain what that is, who it's available to, how it would be helpful to somebody?
Yes, we're really excited about this. This is a space we've not been in previously, but with, financial support from Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter and the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, we launched a financial coaching program back in June, and this is open to any Oakland County resident. So whether you're employed or unemployed, it doesn't matter how old you are, but you can work one-on-one, confidentially, and right now virtually with one of our financial coaches, who can sit down with you and talk about, what are your short-term financial goals? What are your long-term financial goals? And assess your financial wellness. So this is not financial investment. Nothing's going to be sold to you or anything like that. This is just to help individuals put together a plan to assess where are they now and where is it that they want to be. So whether that's retirement or, saving for a first home or maybe, getting out of renting and purchasing a home or setting aside, money for child's education, retirement. They can help you through that process. Even if you're in crisis mode, absolutely give us a call. We'd love to help. But even if you're, maybe working 2-parent income and you're still struggling, this is a good opportunity to talk to one of our experts and come up with that plan. As part of that, we're also offering a series of financial workshops. So maybe if you're not ready for that one-on-one meeting with a financial coach, but you'd love some tips and words of advice, on our website, oaklandcountymiworks.com, you'll see a list of the virtual financial coaching workshops, as well as all of our other virtual workshops as well on LinkedIn and resume writing and interviewing. But we'd love to help people. We're hearing that a lot of individuals are struggling as a result of COVID-19 and the pandemic and some of the costs associated with that. So, we'd like to help people with their financial wellness as well as their career wellness.
Jennifer, just a couple more minutes with you. Top 3 tips that you would give someone for looking for a new job.
Oh gosh, that's a great question. Well, number one we've talked about is just network. And it's hard. It's really, really difficult to sometimes put our pride aside and ask for help. But that is number one tip, always has been my number one tip. And that is where we see the most success. Number two is don't procrastinate. The unemployment weeks can go by quickly, and job search can take a while. So, setting aside a time each day. So I'm going to work on my job search 20 hours per week. Having a notebook where you're logging, what positions you applied for and where you need to follow up. So making sure you're not procrastinating and make sure you're dedicating time towards your job search. And then the third piece would probably be around just making sure you've got a solid LinkedIn profile, a solid resume, and a solid interviewing strategy and elevator pitch, your 30-second sales pitch. So just making sure that you've got all of your ducks in a row for your job search, a solid resume, solid LinkedIn, solid answers to interview questions, and making sure that you can sell yourself in 30 seconds. So I know that's probably more than 3, it's probably 10. But, we really, everyone likes to think that we're a great interviewer and everyone likes to think we've got a great resume, but that's really not always the case. So putting in the practice and making yourself really focused on a job search is very important.
All great tips. Last question for you. If someone is maybe underemployed, can they still use your services?
Absolutely. So Michigan Works is available to all job seekers, regardless of where they're at. And quite frequently, that's probably what we see the most is individuals that are working and maybe not working full time, or working but not really satisfied with where they're at or what they're doing, and they want to make a career change. So, absolutely, you can call 1-800-285-WORK. That will automatically get you connected to the Michigan Works office that's closest to you, anywhere in Michigan, regardless of where you live. And talk to the team there. Let them know where you're at, what you're struggling with, what's going on, and they will offer suggestions and programs that are most helpful to you.
Jennifer Llewellyn, manager of the Oakland County Workforce Development here in Oakland County Michigan Works. Thank you so much for taking time out of this dreary Tuesday to join us on the MegaCast.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and it was enjoyable. I hope it was helpful to your listeners.
Most definitely. And I will say one of the good things about remote working is you don't have to get out in the rain and mess up your hair.
Absolutely.
It's always a silver lining, right? You just have to look for the silver lining in all of this.
Exactly. Well, thanks again. I appreciate the time, and look forward to joining you again in the future sometime.